Hello, I'm Scott Brown, and I have the honor and privilege of serving Massachusetts in the United States Senate. Everywhere I travel throughout our state and our country, people tell me they're deeply concerned about the record levels of spending coming from Washington, D.C. And while families everywhere are tightening their belts and sacrificing to make ends meet during this tough economy, Washington isn't. Instead, it's continuing with its out-of-control spending binge. When I first came into office a little over a year ago, the national debt stood a touch under $12 trillion. Today, it's over $14 trillion and rising. Now, this level of government spending is unsustainable, unacceptable, and is a threat to our fiscal and financial future of our country. The budget President Obama proposed in February would almost double the debt in 10 years to more than $26 trillion. The bottom line is, he hasn't presented a plan to seriously address the deficit or the debt. His budget doesn't put us on solid fiscal ground at all. Instead, this budget contains mixed-up priorities, for example, cutting fuel assistance for the needy while pouring billions and billions of dollars into new spending programs that make no sense. And quite frankly, I think we can do better. Now, unfortunately, we can't make our national debt instantly disappear. I wish we could. But there are targeted steps we can take right now to show the American people and the world that Washington is serious about tackling its spending problems. First, we must end earmarks in Washington. Now, I'm opposed to earmarks, and I was pleased to hear the President recently say he would veto any bill that actually contains them. I also believe that government at all levels should be transparent with how it spends your money, your taxpayer dollars. After all, that money is yours, and you deserve to know where it goes and how it's actually being spent. That's why I will be introducing a bipartisan bill with Senator Bill Nelson of Florida that would require the IRS to provide an itemized receipt showing taxpayers exactly where and how the federal government spends their money, your money, every year, and how much new debt we're putting on the national credit card. Now, legislators and the general public also need to know the cost of bills before they actually vote on them. To accomplish this, I'm introducing a bipartisan 48-hour spending transparency resolution that will require 48 hours before any legislation can be voted on after coming out of a committee or a subcommittee. It also requires that bills have a budget score from the Congressional Budget Office. I absolutely believe that this resolution will force lawmakers to really understand and grapple with the costs associated with our bills and make them take a closer look at whether we can or should be asking the taxpayers to fund them. As a result of Washington's out-of-control spending, we now face a scary prospect of reaching our current debt limit. This news should give us all pause and hammer home the seriousness of the situation we all now face. While no one in my caucus wants to see the federal government shut down, we can't simply raise the debt limit and continue with business as usual and down the path of reckless spending. You can't do it anymore. And it's time to change the way we budget and actually spend and put a system in place that forces the federal government to prioritize, what we need and what we can eliminate and what we can actually live without. So, we must absolutely start identifying and cutting wasteful government spending right away. So next month, I'm introducing the Federal Acquisition Reform Act, a comprehensive piece of legislation that could save us billions of dollars by streamlining the way the federal government actually purchases goods and services. Now, I'm co-sponsoring legislation also to give the President the additional tools that he needs, such as a constitutional line-item veto procedure, to eliminate the very kind of reckless spending that sticks taxpayers with the bill for congressional pork. We all know about it. Now, this authority helped Congress and the President balance the budget in the past, and we can do it again. I've also supported a resolution that would cut back the Senate budget. When families like you across Massachusetts are making tough choices, we should be doing the same. Well, while the financial challenges we face right now are truly very serious, I'm truly confident that we can work together and we can take steps towards addressing our record debt. What I'm proposing won't solve the problem by itself, but it will put us on the right path, absolutely. And I believe the future stability of our country depends on us finally waking up to the need for fiscal restraint in these tough economic times. Just to let you know, I stand ready to put aside party and political differences to focus on fixing this very urgent situation. So thank you for listening, and I hope to hear your ideas for helping in that regard as well. Thank you.